Hey guys, Late Hiker here. Wanted to do a short gear review video of sorts. Just completed 5 days on a section hike in Maine. And so I wanted to kind of go over some of the stuff that I took, give you some of my comments, some of my thoughts. Overall, had a good time. I did get sick on the trail, and I hurt my knee, and so I had to pull out early. We were originally going to do about 8 days, 9 days. I did 5 days, and had to pull out early. But got a good chance to use my gear, and I thought I would just comment on some of the stuff I took, and hopefully it helps out if you're planning a hike and looking at some of this gear. We'll start with my water. Basically, I have the Sawyer water bottles, and I have the Sawyer Mini, which worked fine. We'll say I had the regular Sawyer squeeze, and then I have this size here, which is a little bit smaller. The water flow rate through these is less, which makes sense. It is smaller. I did decide to bring this with me, which is the the back flush tube, and I am really glad I did. This probably after about day 3, I did notice a pretty strong reduction in the water flow, and I was able to clean that out. I've heard a lot of folks say they didn't take this, but the ones I've always watched on the vids were in relation this and to the regular larger Sawyer, which does have a much greater flow rate. But if you're taking this, I would highly recommend that you take the back flush to keep it running good for you. So I was glad I took that. I did take the water bags. These worked fine. The one thing I'll comment on is that about 95% of the time I was not able to submerge this in the water source and have it fill up. It just wasn't happening, whether it be a lake, pond, or a running creek or anything like that. Basically, just a few times I got it to fill up, and that's where the water source was actually running right in, like a little waterfall or something like that, where I could fill that up. Short of that, I had to use, I had this one here, which is a 16-ounce Sawyer bag. I had cut it off, and I used this to open up, dip down into the water, and then pour it into this water bag here. So, anyhow, other than that, it worked fine. Just know that you're not going to submerge this in pretty much most of your water sources. It's not going to fill up like a wide mouth Nalgene or something like that. It's not going to happen. But once I did fill it up, and I put the Sawyer on there and squeezed it out, it worked fine. 90% of the time I use this bottle right here. Very seldom did I use the smaller one. I did use this for camp water. I'd fill all these up for camp water. This is the platypus. I didn't use the platypus. I used for my daily hiking, I just used a water bottle. I used this for camp water, although I'd fill all these up, and inevitably I very rarely use the water out of this. So I had adequate, bags to bring water to camp. So I have to think hard about how I'm going to do my water next time. I may very well use this next time as my daily source. Just put it on the side of my backpack and utilize the hose and stuff. Here's the hose and the connectors and stuff for the platy, and I never did use any of that. So I don't know. Next time out, I'm either going to leave this and just take this in a water bottle, or I'm going to use this, and I may very well use this. I have it rigged up so you don't have to take it out of the pack to fill it back up. But anyhow, my water source worked well. I will comment on this bag here. The last day, I did see a few drops coming out of around the spout. Not a big deal at all. But it was leaking there just a little bit. So and this was the first real camping trip in 5 days that these bags got used. So take that for what it's worth. So overall, this system worked great, worked fine. I'll say not great. I'll say worked very well. But I did have to, you know, it did take a little bit of time just to fill these up because I had to fill those like that. So I'll be looking at that next time. I'm very happy with this. I'll take this again. Okay, one of the things I will not take again, obviously if you looked at my earlier vid, I took this camp chair, REI FlexLight chair. I did use this chair several times. As I mentioned earlier, I was sick on the trail. I wasn't eating well and hurt my knee. And at the end of a long day hiking, especially after I got injured, it was great to sit in this chair. However, this is 27 or 28 ounces. It really wasn't worth the wait up and over the mountains. And so while I did really like it, nothing against the chair itself, but if I go on another significant section hike, which I will, I won't be taking the chair. You know, I may very well take this chair if it's a 1 or 2 day deal, you know, and if the train's not a lot of elevation, I might take this because it is pretty nice. I will comment, when you got out there in the forest using this, the legs would sink down into the ground. The way I prevented that was once I took the chair out, I took this bag and laid it down, and I put the back 2 legs on this bag, and so that prevented it from going down into the ground very far at all. And then I just had to lay something under the front legs. But I got it to work. Got it to work fine. Each time I stopped, I was able to make it function well. And it was comfortable, so I do like the chair, but not worth the wait if you're going on a longer section hike. This is a small Sawyer bottle, which I never used, so I won't be taking that next time around. I do have some medicines that I take. I got a back condition and got blood pressure medicine and you know, some your normal stuff, Advil and stuff. I kept it in plastic bags, wrapped up with a rubber band. Worked great, never got wet at all. I'll show you what I did. I took a plastic bag and I took a lighter, and I would light the lighter and go right up along the bag and melt it. Not melt it in half or anything, just melt it. And what that would do is that gave me 2 different compartments in my bag. So I could stick pills on this side and this side, and since it was melted in the middle, I had 2 different kind of pill holders. And so real lightweight and worked fantastic. I kept them rolled up and kept the rubber band on them, and it worked great. So great way to carry your pills if you got to deal with some of that stuff. Let's see, I had contact case, contact solution, and my eyeglasses. These worked great. I noticed that I had, you know, when I put my contacts in and I carried these in my bag, the solution would leak out of these a little bit. So what I started doing was, once I got my contacts in, I just dumped these out, kept them dry, and then each time I changed my contacts, I would just pour new in for the night, and that system worked out real well. So that's what I did there. I kept my glasses in this case. Next time around, I'm going to do away with this. I'm going to maybe make me just a little cloth bag and keep this inside my cook kit or something that's, you know, it's got some rigidness to it, and do away with this. This thing right here is 3 ounces, and so it was 3 ounces worth of weight that I definitely could have got rid of. By the way, my pack weight was about 31 pounds, so it wasn't heavy by any means. But next time out, I'm going to go and I'm going to really work hard to get my total weight down to 25 with 4 days food and 2 pounds of water, a liter of water. I did take my sunglasses. I wish I probably would have left them in the car. I never used these sunglasses except for driving up to the trail and then driving back. So that was kind of a waste. You know, I just had to keep track of them, keep them in there, keep them from getting, you know, broken, that kind of stuff. So I won't be taking that in the future. This was my trash compactor bag. I kept my hammock and my clothes bag in my pack inside this. Worked great, never got wet. My DIY 0.67 sill argon tarp, 11 foot by 60 inches on each side, so 120 inches, 11 foot by 120 inches. This worked great. I practiced many times hanging this in the backyard. This was the first time out with this. This is double-ended like bishop bag. several times I came in late at night. One time I came in late, so it's dark and raining, and I was really glad that I, set this thing up many times. I probably set this thing up about 12, 15 times before I ever went out, and that paid off. So one of the things you want to do is do work with your gear before you get out there. But this worked great. This tarp is 23 ounces. The bag, the tarp, the stakes, and all that. This is my anti-gravity gear rain jacket. I shoved it back in this stuff sack. I didn't take the stuff sack with me. I just took the jacket and put it in my knit pocket. But that jacket worked great. It did rain. I wore the jacket, and then also up on top of some of the higher peaks, I put the jacket on. It was a great windbreak. So I absolutely love the jacket. It has pit zips in it, so I was able to unzip the jacket underneath and keep from sweating. So it actually worked. I was really happy with this. My pack cover worked great. My kilts, Z-Packs rain kilt worked great. Here's my bug net. I never did put my bug net on. I usually have a yellow Steelers hat. I've had that hat for many years. And on day one, I kind of went through an episode of, I don't know if it was heat exhaustion or what it was, but I ended up losing my hat on the side of one of the mountains there. This is kind of meant to be worn with a hat to keep it off your face. But the bugs, we would go through certain areas and they were kind of bad, but never bad enough, I guess, to where I stopped and put this on. But I will take that with me next time. Piece of Tyvek that I put underneath my hammock to lay my stuff on, and a few nights it was wet and raining, and this worked great. This is a little sit pad, and this is all I'll be taking next time in lieu of the chair. This actually worked really well. This is a Walmart sit pad. I actually bought it for $5. Really like it. I seen another one up at REI, something very similar, and they're fine as well. I think theirs was right around 20 some dollars. This was $5. I bought two of them. It's got foam inside. It's self-inflating, and worked out really well. I just kind of kept it wrapped up like that, and put it in the side of my pack, and it worked great. My pillow. This is an X-Bed air pillow, and this thing is a couple ounces, so I took it, and it just absolutely love it. I would actually, when I first took this, I was tent camping, and I blew it up and used it, and really didn't like it. Didn't think I was going to use it again, and then went hiking again, and I put just a wee little bit of air, almost. I mean, you almost wouldn't think there was any air in it, and just a wee little bit of air, and used it, and man, it was perfect. So I'll definitely be taking this. It's the X-Bed pillow, so it worked great. One of the things I really liked, I want to show you my shoes, but these are insoles. These are the sole inserts from REI. I had purchased a pair of the other ones. I think they're called Super Feet or Happy Feet, whatever they are. And I wore them for several weeks before the hike, and I just didn't like them. I just couldn't get used to them. It just almost felt like the arch support didn't line up with the arch on my foot. If I wore them long enough, I kind of thought, well, maybe. But overall, I didn't like them, so I ended up going back and getting these. It's called Sole, and these just work fantastic. At the end of day 5, my feet were just a little bit sore, not a lot, but a little bit. But I'll tell you, the terrain in Maine, in the section we were on, I would classify the biggest part of it as brutal. And I was on the tips of rocks and roots and stumps and all that type of stuff, and I would be on a tip right in the center of your foot or right there by your arch, and I just wouldn't feel it. So these things were absolutely essential. I would say if you're going on any kind of long hike, look into getting a set of inserts for your shoes. These are the Sole, S-O-L-E, and they work great. shoes are the Solomon Trail Runners. These I've had for about a year, and I really like these shoes. I like the fit. I like the wide platform. They are light. They dry very quickly. You know, my feet were wet all the time, slogging through certain areas, and you know, these did a good job at drying out. You know, never turned my ankle to where, you know, I got hurt. You know, I did turn my, you know, my shoe like this a few times, but never to where, you know, I mean, I was able to catch myself, and you know, just nice wide platform, and so it worked really well. My one big complaint with this, and I don't know if it's just this pair or if others, but the bottom of this sole, you can see just on this shoe here, just kind of come apart. Looks like it's just lifting right off the bottom of that shoe. And so that was really disappointing. So if that hadn't happened, you know, big thumbs up for these Solomons. Solomon XA 3D Ultra 2. Nothing but good things to say until I seen this. So I don't know if this is just a defect in the pair I got. I'm going to get a hold of these folks, see if they'll do something. But short of that, I'd highly recommend these if the sole doesn't come off. The other shoes, obviously I got them on now, or my Crocs. I'll definitely take these again. It was great getting out of the hiking shoes and the wet socks and having something dry to put on. Being weight conscious, I may try to get rid of that next time around. Again, I think I mentioned I'm committed to next time out to having a total pack weight with 4 days of food and a liter of water of 25 pounds, no more than 25 pounds. So I think I can get there with some gear reduction and some modification in my sleep system and my stuff that I'll talk to you here in a second. So that's all that stuff there. Here is my cook kit. This is the Snow Peak 700. This thing actually worked great, so I'll probably take the exact same thing as far as the cook kit itself. This is just the, it's just got the cup, this, got the lid. Inside I have the Snow Peak. I think this is the Gigapower. Next time out, I think I'm going to take, I have a small alcohol stove. One of the guys I went with, he had an alcohol stove that worked great. And so I think I'm going to leave this in terms of weight savings and take an alcohol stove. In here, my cook kit, I have a pair of hot lips that you can put on the cup. I have a little deal to grab the handles when they're hot. And this is actually a little, I did a lot of my cooking in plastic bags. And this has got some heat reflectix in it, and my mom made that, and you put the plastic bag right inside like this, and you pour your water in there, and you can cook right inside the plastic bag. You can hold this, keeps it really hot. I mean really hot. It's amazing. It holds all the heat inside there. It did a great job. So I'll definitely be taking this again. Something that I really worked well. Again, I'll be taking an alcohol stove, try to get some weight savings. Okay, let's see what I have in here. My electronics, my Spot Black Diamond headlamp worked great. It is a little bit on the heavier side. It's like maybe 3.5 ounces. But man, you know, I charged the batteries up. They lasted forever, and I didn't use it a lot. But I've used this around the house and on some other hiking trips, and it works fantastic. A couple extra batteries for the camera, and a little plastic bag, that worked fine. This is a PowerAdd solar charger, external battery pack, 7,200 milliamp hour. It's about 8 ounces, so half a pound. I'll have to think very hard about bringing something like this again. I probably won't bring it, simply because my batteries on the camera lasted, and I was able to keep for about 4 days on my phone. I kept it in airplane mode except for when I was using it, and I had about 50% power on day 4, and usually day 4, day 5 we'll be going into town. So I will probably not bring this next time around, although it worked fine. On day 5, I mentioned I got hurt. We were 2 days behind regular schedule, and so I used this to charge the other 2 guys' phone that I was hiking with, and so it charged my phone, it charged both of their phones up, I believe 100%, and still has 2 bars. So I think that indicates there's 4 bars, and it indicates 50% full. So I mean, as far as an external power source, this provides a lot of extra energy. I just don't know if it's worth the weight, and me getting down to 25 pounds, I most likely won't be taking it again. This bag, let's see. This just had my compass and my whistle. Had a pair of earplugs, a little micro light that actually goes into my hammock. I need to hang that in my hammock. A pair of glasses, straps I probably won't take next time around. Lighter, I need to leave that here because I'm flying out. This is just some Elixir Camelback water flavor. This kind of my hygiene bag. Had some floss, toothbrush, toothpaste, Dr. Bronner's. I took way too much Dr. Bronner's. I probably should have cut that down to about 1/4, which what I'll do next time around. That bottle right there is about 2.5 ounces. I probably could have got away with about 1 ounce for sure. Mirror I used to put my contacts in, worked great. Purex. I actually brought 2 bottles of this. In the future I'll just bring 1. A little roll of duct tape. Deodorant. I liked having the deodorant. If I can find a smaller case, that would even be better. This was my medical kit. This came in about 7.5 ounces. And the only thing I used out of here, I did have an ACE bandage, an ACE wrap, which I used to wrap up my knee. I hurt my knee. And so everything else in here I really didn't use. I'm going to reduce the weight of this at least by 50%. So I'm going to be down to about 3.5 ounces on my first aid kit next time out. My poop pack, this worked great. Inside here I got toilet paper, I got some wipes, and I got some Purell. So this worked great. I was able to just grab that out of my pack, head out, use my knife for a cat hole, and that worked perfect. No problems at all with that. Told you the glasses I'm not going to take in the future. Let's see. Over here, let me go over this way. Hopefully I can kind of get this lined out. Change the camera angle. These are, this is my camping table. This actually worked great. I tell you, I won't take it again. It's nice to have, but just not practical on the trip. Just as easy to set stuff on the ground and make it work out. Stuff sack, Cuban fiber, food bag, and my Cuban fiber clothes bag. Those worked out great. I took a plastic trash bag, which I never used. There's my hiking poles. I think these are about shot. These are actually Walmart $20 hiking poles. I was real happy with them. You know, they were standing up well, and then, you know, the last 3 days in Maine, I just, you know, I think I was hurt, and I was leaning on these more, relying on these more than you normally would, and so they got bent. I can't even get the last section to pull out. It was bent, and to get back on the plane, I shoved it in there. Now I can't get it out. This pole right here actually broke off. You can see that or not. But I was able to extend it and to make it work to get up and down the mountains. So no, nothing bad to say at all about these hiking poles from Walmart. $20 for the set. I'd have really been bummed if I'd have spent, you know, $100 on these and then bent them up and broke them and stuff. But as it was, $20. They did a good job. You know, I hear people talk about you know, the difference between cork and plastic. I mean, I don't know, you know, always on YouTube you hear them talk about the smell, and but I don't have any smell at all in these handles, and they worked absolutely great. So anyhow, this is my clothes. I had about 3 pounds of clothes in my clothes bag, which I don't know if that's a lot or not. You know, I know it depends on time of year, but I was very happy with my clothes selection. I hiked in this shirt, and I don't have my black hiking shorts, but I had this shirt and a pair of black hiking shorts, obviously a pair of socks is what I hiked in all the time. I also use these things here. These are DIY gaiters. I absolutely love these things here. When I started on the first part of the trail, I did not put these on. I had neglected to get these on coming out of our truck and starting on the hike. And right away I started getting stuff down in my shoes, you know. And so the first time I stopped, I pulled these out and put them on. And I wore them non-stop the entire trip, and they just were fantastic. I would not go on any length of hike at all without a pair of lightweight gaiters. My mom made these. We just made a quick pattern, laid a piece of paper over my shoes and kind of like traced it out and what I thought it would be, and she put that on, and so these are fantastic. Great piece of gear if you're going out and doing some hiking. Get a real, you know, these are made out of I don't know if it's the 1.1 ripstop or if it's the 0.67 argon, seal argon, I don't know, but these are fantastic. So I wore those the entire time. My Z-Packs little fleece beanie, wore that to bed at night on a few nights. Fantastic. At night I would put on, these are REI lightweight tops and bottoms. Again, fantastic. You know, there was some nights when it was you know, down below 50 degrees, 45 degrees or so, wet, raining. After hiking, you stop, you'd get chilled, and I'd put these on, jump into the hammock, and I was fantastic. So I did have those. 2 pair of ex officio underwear. One I'd have on, one would be in the bag. This is my REI quarter zip, you know, shirt, long sleeve shirt. That's what I brought for, you know, warmth. That worked fantastic as well. No troubles there. Short sleeve hiking shirt. I did bring like I said, I hiked 95% of the time in a pair of shorts, but I did have a pair of hiking pants that, again, I'd put on at camp at night if I were a little bit chilled, or I did wear them one time during the day when my clothes were all soaking wet, you know, from rain. And I just decided, instead of putting the wet ones back on, to put these pants on, because I did have a pair of these, you know, base layers to put on at night if these got wet. So I did wear these, and you know, that's my clothes. I was real happy with my clothes selection. So that all worked out real well. Let me show you my sleeping gear. This is my 0.67 seal argon underquilt, and It's got Climate Shield inside, 5 ounce per square yard Climate Shield. And this thing weighs, let's see, underquilt, this thing weighs 14.5 ounces. And it worked great. It's a 3/4 length underquilt, and it was fantastic. I think I'm going to make another. I actually think this would maybe take me down. I'm just guessing because I haven't had it out, but I'm thinking this may take me down to 35 degrees. With my system, with this, my top quilt and my clothes. And so I think for my next section hike, I'm going to look to make another one of these and make it with 2.5 Climate Shield and try to reduce the weight. So that worked great. This is my DIY top quilt. You can kind of see the foot box right here. Foot box comes up to about the right around the knee, and just wrap this around you, and this worked great. Again, this is the 0.67 argon with the 5 ounce Climate Shield. I really, really like this. Actually, I think I have it inside out. You see. Yep. Got it inside out. But I really, really like this thing here. It was fantastic. And again, I think this is one that would even take me down to, with this system, about 35 degrees or so. I need to check that out. I'm just kind of, guesstimating. But I'm going to remake one of these. My mom is a great sewer, and my mom and dad helped me lay all this out and make it. And I'm going to remake these and try to reduce my weight next time out. Get my pack. This is the Mariposa, this Gossamer Gear Mariposa backpack. This backpack worked fantastic. Got the big screen pocket in the back, one large pocket on this side, and then 2 separate pockets on this side. This comes in at about 28 ounces. I've got, I've done different things to it, and so it comes, I've got a pack towel, I've got a watch on here, I've got some clips that I can hold my pack cover on, so it's right at about 32 ounces, right at 32, 2 pounds, 32 ounces. This thing was fantastic. It worked great. It is a lighter weight pack, like I said, 28 ounces out of the box if you don't do anything else to it. It held, again, my entire pack was at 31 pounds. It rode fine and worked real well. So I'll definitely be taking that again. Last but not least, and I'm not going to pull this out, but this is my, and I just have it in here. I didn't take it in a plastic bag, but this is my Dream Hammock Thunderbird with the whoopee slings. Just absolutely great. Worked fantastic. The whoopee slings for quick adjustment, and I took the bug net and kept it on there for this hike. And so real happy with my sleep system and my clothes. But again, I'm going to reduce my weight down to no more than 26 pounds next time out. So appreciate any comments, and yeah, that's it. Thanks.